Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to cover refilling a torch. So this video is called Torch Refill. And the torch is this little micro torch, should I say. They use these in culinary, and we use this for setting the pour. So for our pour method of painting, we use a torch, and it tends to run low after you've used it for a while. So what you're going to need is, of course, your torch that needs refilling, and you need a can of butane fuel, and it can be any brand, doesn't matter. So what you do is there's a dial on here that you turn your flame up or down. You turn the flame down to the lowest setting possible, and you flip it upside down. There is a little opening here on the bottom, and it has what looks like a stem in it. That's where you're going to place, the nozzle, this nozzle onto it. This nozzle has a hole in it, so this would be considered a female part. And this hole has a stem, and this would be considered a male part. So what you'll have to do is shake the butane fuel up, and then you're going to place it directly onto that stem and press down. So I'm going to shake this pretty good. And you always, when refilling these or any of the lighters, you always turn the setting down to the lowest possible setting. Now I'm going to place this on there, and then what I do is I just kind of move it around and rock it to make sure that it's seated on that piece. Then I just press, and you'll hear the pressure, or you'll hear a sound that it makes when the butane gas is coming out of the can and into the torch. And let it go. Shake it some more. That sounds like it's just all escaping and not going in there, but some is going in there. Unfortunately, on these it doesn't have a gauge that you can actually see when it starts to fill up. But when it gets sort of empty, when it gets empty, it feels kind of light. So there. Now what happened then, when I knew that was enough, is some of the butane fluid itself came out and is seated around in there. So I know that was enough. I'll cap this up, and before I use this torch, I will give it a while to make sure all of the gas has dissipated, evaporated from around there. You can wave it around, and that's before I use it. But it is now set to use. Of course, it was on the lowest setting, and usually for my torch method, because it's full, I don't need it all the way up, but I usually turn it halfway between the lowest and the highest point. And now it's ready to use again. I don't have to use it now. I can store it. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.